Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so in today's video we are doing a redraw. It's a new year and this first video of the year, so I figured what better way to celebrate it than by seeing my progress of 2023. As you can see from the thumbnail, this is a drawing that I will be redrawing. I first drew this in January of 2021. Then I redrew it again April 2022. Which is like a year and a half ago really, but it's close enough. Before I get into the piece itself, I want to talk a little bit about the format of this video. I couldn't decide between the ease of screen recording and the appreciation for video recording the process, so I introduced this hand cam. It will be showing up throughout the process, and I thought it was a good way to have the best of both worlds. Anyways, onto the piece. Like I said, I first drew this in January of 2021, and I remember being super proud of this piece, and I still am super proud. It was my first big artwork that I'd ever done, and I spent more than 8 hours on it. This was back when I was a baby digital artist, as I'd only started to take art more seriously mid-2020. I had a lot of time on my hand for reasons that don't really need explaining. So the idea behind this piece was a sapphire. Sapphire is my birthstone, and I wanted to have a character based on that. I wanted her to be elegant and aloof, and also feel a little bit old-fashioned. So she has lidded eyes and the curled hair. And I love butterflies, so I downloaded some free brushes and I just added them on. When I redrew the piece a little more than a year later, you can see a drastic difference. My digital coloring got way better. The old piece was extremely blended and lacked a lot of depth and lighting. There was barely any form to any of the parts of the drawing. In the newer version, you can see a lot more thought was put into the form of the pieces and shape was given to various parts of the drawing. And if you notice, the butterflies are exactly the same. Sorry, but I got lazy in the redraw. The first time I drew the piece, it took so long for me to do the butterflies and I couldn't be bothered, so I copied and pasted them from the original canvas. Sue me. To actually prepare for this year's redraw, I made a likes and dislikes list of the older renditions, and this list is up on the screen now. For the first one, I put that I liked the lineless look, how soft the hair looks, the almost glowy and ethereal look to the piece, the lips, and how her eyes actually look like jewels. But I didn't like how everything was flat, undefined, and lacked form. For the 2022 edition, I had liked the skin shading, how the butterflies somewhat cast lighting on the character and her top. I really like how the top almost looked like a velvet material, and I can't figure out how to replicate it. I'll have to go back and rewatch the time-lapse for it. Anyways, what I didn't like was how the skin had no color variation, and I hated how the hair looked. I felt like it looked stiff and too shiny. It didn't give me the illusion of hair that I personally wanted. And I also disliked the lack of pizzazz. The background was giving absolutely nothing. I'm not a huge fan of the first background either, but at least there's something going on there. So I took all these into consideration when making my redraw. Starting off, I kind of wanted to change up the pose just a little bit, so I tilted her head a smidge. In the beginning of the sketch is when I started practicing anatomy, and I almost wanted to scrap the whole thing and start over. I can see the anatomy mistakes even now, but I told myself it's supposed to be a representation of my skills beforehand, and I can always fix that in next year's redraw. In case you guys don't know, I'm actually making it a goal to learn art fundamentals this year. And I plan on documenting the process. Since I mainly draw people, I'll focus first on anatomy. So if you're interested in checking that out or following along with the plan, you can subscribe to this channel and keep on the lookout for new content. In the first drawing, I thought the clips looked a little bit weird and out of place, so I pulled up these references to help guide me along. I kind of edited the hair a little bit too because I wanted to loosen it up. The liner I used for this piece isn't actually how I do my line art. I couldn't help myself to experiment on that part because I've been wanting to change up my line art style for ages, and I saw this TikTok and I just had to experiment for myself, and honestly I really enjoyed using it. I still would like to make my own personal adjustments to match what I like, but I think it really works for me. It almost adds its own shading to the piece without having to use any colors, so kind of like when people use grayscale to shade and then they put color overlay on top of it. That's kind of what this look emulates, and I really like that. Okay, I'm gonna fade out for a little bit because I've run out of things to talk about. I'll be back towards the end of the piece to talk about how I felt overall and what I think I can improve on next year. Okay, I'm back. And as you can see, the butterflies are back. The same butterflies. Yet again, I got too lazy to redo them, so I copied from the original drawing. Maybe next year I'll be better and actually make some new original butterflies, but this year we're not doing that. So I'll start with what I like about this piece. I really like the hair, and I think I made the right call when I decided to loosen it up a little bit. I feel like it looks super soft, and it's holding its curl very well, and it doesn't feel stiff at all to me. So I think I did really good on that, and I like how the glow is interacting with the hair as well, and you can see the little flyaways. For the skin, I feel like I didn't go as much with the color variations in the skin. There's a little bit, she has blush on her face. Her shoulders are a tiniest bit more red than the rest of her skin. So it's okay, but I feel like I definitely could have pushed that a little bit more. And like I said earlier, the anatomy is a little bit off. I think where the shoulder meets the neck is a little bit off. Maybe the collarbone's a little bit too defined. And I think the angle of the head is not really translating very well. So that's what I can improve on for next year. The clips in her hair, I kind of gave up on. I didn't really know what to do, so I kind of just made them like a shiny metallic type of material. So it's all right, but I hope that next year I can come up with something a little bit more creative. For her top, I had no idea what to do. In the first rendition, her top was like overly complicated with all this like glowing lace. It didn't really make any sense. Like I said before, the second top is probably my favorite out of all three of them. I tried to replicate that velvety look, but it didn't really work here. And I wanted to follow the second one's example by having a little bit more of a simpler design on the top. So I came up with this, and they're supposed to be pearls lining the edge of the top, and then almost like little glass beads hanging down from it. I think it's cute. I really like it. I couldn't really figure out how to make the glass beads look more like glass beads. I mean, from far away you can kind of get the idea, but I feel like there could have been a way for me to sell it a little bit more. So maybe I can incorporate those into the next piece and try again. Like I had said before, I felt like one of the things that was missing was kind of ethereal look to the piece. So I added these little shiny highlight details all around to try to get that older style type of sparkly glow to it. And it's just a tiny little bit of a blurred overlay layer over the top of the whole thing to give it that glowy look. And like I said before, I thought the background had been lacking, so I gave her a backlighting, a blue backlighting, to give the background a little bit of dimension. I feel like it's simple, it gets the job done, but I don't know if it was a good job. I think it's okay, but I definitely want to push my creativity next year to see if I can get something even better. And lastly, I feel like I did pretty well on the eyes. I really like how they look. They look shiny and gemmy to me, and they don't have that weird look that the second one had, but they also don't look as kind of fake as the first ones do. So I think this is a good in-between. And the lips, I really like how the lips turn out. In the second drawing, I really didn't like how I colored the lips. I usually struggle drawing lips and coloring lips, so I'm glad that these ones came out very well. So here is the final drawing. At the end of the video, I will put a short time lapse of the whole thing for those who want to see. And yeah, I really like how it turned out. I hope all of you like it as well. And that's all I have for today. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your thoughts on the piece down below. Or if you want to talk about some of your art goals for this year, you can comment about that. Or just about anything that you'd like. I appreciate all of you for watching. And I hope wherever you are, you're having a good day or night. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.